outside the church. We still see police in the area guarding it as we're just still less than 24 hours after this horrific shooting taking the lives of 2 young children and injuring so many more.
What's up, internet folks? My name is Ralph, and welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the unfortunate incident that took place in Minneapolis yesterday. As you saw from the opening of the video, I am a bit under the weather, unfortunately, so if I sound funny, I apologize. But we're going to go ahead and get right into this.
The attack of a deranged gunman rocked the nation after they opened fire on a Catholic school in Minneapolis, slaughtering 2 children and injuring at least 17 others on August 27th. Robin Westman opened fire through the stained glass windows of a church at the Annunciation Catholic School before committing suicide. But who was Robin Westman? Here's what we know so far. 23-year-old Robin Westman, formerly Robert Westman, has been identified as a transgender woman from Minnesota. Westman applied to change names from Robert to Robin in Dakota County at 17 years old, according to court documents.
This is the parents' fault. This is the parents' fault. Stop doing this to your kids.
This video is about the mental state of somebody who could make a manifesto, which, by the way, I found out that they did, made a manifesto, and brought that gun into a school to hurt innocent people, innocent children. And I don't understand why we are a country that we are not helping people get the mental health help that they need.
You don't care about children, you care about power and money. If you did care about children the way you say you do, you'd be changing gun laws, not watching another community bury their babies.
Here in Minneapolis, there are very strong red flag laws around gun control. Do you believe there were missed signs here in Minneapolis?
I don't know all the details yet, and so I'll speak generally, though. We have more guns in America than people. I don't see a reason why people should be able to buy a gun 1 month and then buy a gun the next month and then the next month after that. People, obviously, that have these severe mental health issues should not have access to guns. People who say that this is not about guns, you got to be kidding me. This is about guns. We do need to take action. There are other countries around the world where horrific acts have taken place like this, and then they step up to make a change so that it in fact does not happen again.
So there you have opinions abound across the internet, ranging from it being the parents' fault to a lack of mental health services, the fact that they were trans, and of course, blaming the gun and the ever-present call for more gun control. All these people blaming all these things, I blame the person that did this. Plain and simple. This wasn't a kid. This was a 23-year-old adult. And they were a deranged monster. It's pretty simple. You know, the idea that somehow we could prevent tragedy were we just to fix these things and limit these other things, that's a utopianistic idea. The fact of the matter is that in a nation of nearly 400 million people, you're going to have some folks slip through the cracks. That's just the hard reality of life. And to live in a society where every single one of those cracks was sealed up would be to live in a society of total surveillance, total control. This is simply the nature of the world that we live in. Malcontents exist, and they will always exist, and a determined malcontent will find a way to do harm. They want to blame the guns. Gun didn't walk itself over to that church and start, popping off rounds. It was that individual, that mentally deranged, malevolent individual. And they act as if, in these other countries where they've had tragedies and they've gotten rid of guns, they act as if violence and even mass violence has disappeared. When the fact of the matter is, they've just replaced guns and gone back to knives. It's so bad in the UK that now they limit how you can purchase knives. You've got to show ID to order a set of steak knives for your kitchen counter. Violence is inherent to being all across nature. It's inescapable. From the smallest microbe to the explosion of stars, violence is inherent to being. And you can do everything in your power to limit your exposure to that violence, but that does not mean that it is not still out there, and that does not mean that you don't have to still prepare for the possibility of it. We live in this system that is utterly unnatural to being. The peace, the prosperity, the comfort that we all enjoy here in America is utterly alien to the existence of the vast majority of mankind in human history, and in reality, probably the majority of mankind alive today. These tragedies are ultimately unavoidable. Again, you can do your best to limit them, but they're never going to go away. If you get rid of guns, they'll use knives or trucks. Nice, France, 400 plus injured, 86 killed with a truck. A truly determined individual will find a way. I shudder to think what we have in our future with the widespread availability of lethal compounds like fentanyl. Such a minuscule amount is needed to kill somebody that I feel like it's probably only a matter of time before we have a mass casualty event due to someone weaponizing that. And I think further into the future about things like Neuralink. I wonder if that won't ultimately be a catalyst for our zombie apocalypse. I imagine what could be done by a dedicated hacker to an individual with a chip implanted in their brain that is connecting them to the internet. And if technology develops as they hope, likely be able to alter or overlay visual inputs straight to the brain. I shudder to think of the terrible tragedies that we'll see in the future due to stuff like this, and probably so many other possibilities that have never even occurred to me. So just remember, it's not the gun, it's not that they were trans, it's not their parents, and it may not even be that mental health help could have helped them. There are ultimately people in the world whose existence boils down to malice. And it's your job to look out for them and to be prepared to defend yourself against that malevolence should it present itself. Just be thankful that you live in a time and an age where you have the tools, no matter who you are, to defend yourself. Because the fact of the matter is, you know, a couple hundred years ago and pretty much all of human history prior to that, if you were not a physically capable individual, you were just as likely to be a victim as you were to live out your life in peace. Perhaps even more likely to be a victim of some sort to somebody. 200, 250 years ago, uh, settlers and the natives were scalping people and bashing babies' skulls against rocks and all manner of horrific actions. Um, you know, be appreciative and take advantage of the fact that you have access to tools to protect yourself no matter who you are. Um, and that's ultimately, why I'm never going to support gun control. Um, I believe that it is the right of every individual to be able to protect themselves. Um, and the fact of the matter is, the only thing that facilitates that for a lot of people, I mean, you know, whether or not you want to face it, the essentially entire female half of our population, um, without an access to firearms, it would be much more difficult, if not impossible, for them to protect themselves against, malicious men, abusive, partners. Uh, so I think it's absolutely imperative that people be allowed to maintain arms, not only for a personal defense, but also, you know, as a last line of defense for the continued existence of our nation. So yeah, hug your kids, people. There are monsters among us. Arm yourself and be prepared to stop those monsters when they come your way. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you. For real, for real. I'm never thought I'd be sitting in front of a computer trying to make a living. So, yeah. I hope you're having a good day. Till next time. Later, Gators.